starting off, just talk about your characters and background?
Sure. KJ is fiercely protective and incredibly loyal and always tries to be clear-eyed about what is right and what is wrong. She is the brawn of the group while also being emotionally intelligent, which is sort of a unique character. You know, there's usually that stereotype of being the emotional one and then the jock, but she kind of, merges the two, and she goes on this journey of self-discovery and really comes into herself a lot this season, and I am excited for audiences to see.
I play Erin. She is definitely the sheltered one out of the four, and she starts off to be very, very quiet, but also extremely determined. She wants to feel accepted, and especially in a homogenous suburb of 1980s Ohio, being one of the only colored girls in her neighborhood, she definitely wants to feel wanted. But I would also describe her to be very aware of the things and the people around her. She tries to be considerate of other people's feelings and also really responsible in that sense of duty and honor and wanting to take care of the people that she loves. And then all of a sudden, when all these crazy things start coming at her, we really get to see how she's feeling eternally and how much she develops.
So, talk a little bit with Sofia and Camryn about music they listen to, 80s styles they look at. Do you guys really like that truly kind of the mindset of somebody who was growing up in the 88?
Yeah, I mean, Riley and I already listened to a little bit of 80s influence. Riley much more than I do. I'm more of a 70s gal, but I definitely have some Pat Benatar sprinkled in there that I really love. And the soundtrack on the show, even I didn't even think to imagine some of these songs in the way that they're placed, but it really is mind-blowing, and I'm really excited for people to hear the music that we've included.
Yeah, I really so I listen to a lot of 80s music already, but I definitely did that more getting into the character of Erin. So I listened to a lot of The Smiths and The Cure and New Order. You might just hear a little bit of that in the show. And then back to the 70s, I listened to a lot of Bee Gees pre-disco. Yeah.
I want to kind of go over some heavier moments in your guys' character arc. For KJ, I think in episode 5, you find out that your future isn't necessarily determined for you. Talk about maybe the anatomy of that scene a little bit, and just kind of maybe what was your character thinking at that moment.
Right.
And then for young Erin, maybe talk about kind of what's going through her mind as older Erin is talking to her sister, and kind of, there's some weighty parts there too as far as what's going on there.
In that scene that I believe you're referencing, KJ's worlds are she almost feels like her world is falling apart and yet coming together at the same time. Her whole life she's felt different, and she's never really known what it was, and she's grown up in the 80s as well, so she's grown up in a time where being queer or part of the LGBTQ community was not okay, and so something that has felt so wrong to her whole life suddenly feels so right when it's right before her eyes, and it is an internal discovery for her, which I think is a very truthful representation of how that realization can be for a lot of people, and it really allows her to come into herself and for her confidence to grow, knowing who she is and learning to be proud of it.
Yeah, I think for Erin's character, she quite naturally is forced to grow up very quickly, knowing that she has to take care of her family, help her mom go to the bank. And so she already has these expectations set for her, and when she's confronted that it isn't exactly how it's supposed to go, she feels very disappointed, and after interacting with adult Erin more, we can kind of see that the 12-year-old girl is still kind of in her, and I truly feel that Erin's character has had a lot of development over the episodes, and we get to see her go all these different types of emotions, and especially learning to trust herself within as well as trusting the girls around her, knowing that she hasn't really had a lot of that interactions with people her age.
First of all, start off with the serpent ring is really freaking.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
On to the question though, what was it like for you guys behind the scenes working with the adult masters of yourselves? Like, what was the chemistry like? How did you sync up to be playing the exact same character in the show?
I think the cool thing about Erin is that little Erin and adult Erin aren't really the exact same person on the outside. She has all these expectations set for herself, and like I said, like it doesn't exactly meet. So Allie and I had a really good time playing off of that, and we had such a great time bonding, and I hope that people love what we did.
For me, the actress involved, she actually went to school with my sister and was in a playwriting class with her where they wrote plays about their families, and they would put these plays on, and Delia, who plays older KJ, actually has played me before in this play that my sister has written about her family. So I was shocked to find out that this connection existed, and so I think that she's a good choice, and I didn't get to spend much time with her, but she's very cool.
No, I'll go.
All right. They've asked most of my questions already. It's such a fantastic show, and I'm really liking how there's this balance of the whole sci-fi time travel storyline. We've got to get back home, but then you have all these emotional conflicts for the younger girls about, do we really want to go back in time? And when you were going through it, were you thinking about that? Were you thinking about what your characters wanted in that situation, or was it more in the moment of what we should do?
Right. Well, something that's so cool about this show is that it is a sci-fi journey and experience with these larger-than-life situations that really no one would ever be put in, that you would think, would be mind-blowing for anybody. And yet they still find themselves asking that quintessential childhood question of what will I be when I grow up. And so we definitely found ourselves honing in on that more, and the girls' discoveries of themselves rather than the laser beams and time travel. And then I think it definitely led to a bit of self-discovery in real life and how we wanted our lives to go. And I think Riley and I definitely both want to remain in the industry. Yeah. And hopefully the industry will allow us to stay.
Yeah. And I think something that really stood out when I had first discovered Paper Girls is that all the girls have such substance to them, and I noticed that a lot of media, especially women, are portrayed only have one personality trait. One is the player, one is the one that fights with everyone, or something like that. So it was nice to see that these girls aren't one-dimensional and that they're complicated, and that's how it actually is in real life.
Quick question, what was your initial reaction to the script?
Fell in love with it.
Ditto. Yeah.